simply wondering if there'd be a good time for us to get together this week and talk about a plan for getting your home sold, okay? You just lead with an acknowledgement, okay, that you understand their situation, but because you know you can help them, you're hanging in there. All right, so page 21 is an accountability page. It is only for those of you who are going to commit to expireds as a source. If it's going to be part of your business plan, then it's going to be extremely helpful for you to track your daily activities and to share this list on a weekly basis with your accountability partner. So you're going to track dials, talks, sets, meetings, and listings. And under dials, I would encourage you to track who you're dialing. Not the names, but the expiration period. Okay, these are 1 day expireds, 1 week, 1 month. So you can track the conversion rates for each. At the end of each week, you're going to summarize, I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I did what? What did I do this week? Well, first of all, I'm glad I made my calls. Okay, that might be it. Okay, I'm glad I blocked the time and made the calls. What I wish I had done, you know what? I wish I had studied the dialogues a little better. I wish I had studied the objection handling a little bit better. Maybe I wish I had called later in the evening because I seemed to get a better response with a few of my calls then. Okay, so my biggest learning lesson for the week is, because we're on a path to what? With all of our business sources, we're on a path to mastery, right? We don't want to stay in phase 1, making 50 dials a week and only getting 5 closings for the year. We want to move to that 47 closings. And the way we do that is by constantly evaluating our results and refining our methods so that we improve our conversion rates, okay? This is a key part of that. And if you wonder what is a dial, a talk, a set, a meeting, or a listing, here's the definitions for each at the bottom of the page, okay? Now, I've been promising page 22 the whole time. There it is, the pre-listing questions. By the way, those of you who do property desk, or those of you who take buyer calls from any source, this would be a good page to have handy with you at all times. When you're talking with somebody about going out to sell their home or possibly list their home. Now, let's acknowledge up front, if this is an expired listing, you have access to most of this data already. You know what the MLS says about square footage, number of bedrooms, number of baths, but note the dialogue in bold. Before I come out, I just need to verify some things and ask you a few questions, because they may have added a bedroom, right? Or they may have taken out a bedroom and turned it into a larger den, whatever. So you're just going through that. There are some unique questions on here that you need to verify. Are you the sole owner of the home? Because if you're going out to have a listing conversation, you want to make sure all the owners are there. Okay. Will you need to buy another home? That's important. Particularly if that commission discussion gets sticky. If you know that you've got the opportunity for 2 transactions out of the deal, well, maybe you do have a little flexibility. Okay? How long have you owned your home? Important question 14. Have you done any updating? Right? Very important in determining value. 15. What made you call me, if applicable, which typically is not in this source. Number 16. Will you be interviewing other realtors? Why would we ask that question? No, we're going to be on our game regardless. Whether we're in a competitive situation or not, we're going in, right, with our A game.
Well, you want to know which position you want to.
Oh, exactly. 16 is purely a setup for 17. Okay? Look at 17. Have you set those appointments? That's the only reason you ask if they're going to be interviewing other realtors. Because if they are, what position do you want to be in? Oh, this is a smart class. First position, right? Because you go in with your A game, what are you going to do to those other listing appointments? You're going to make them irrelevant. That's right, because they're going to list with you that night. And then you're going to be really super nice realtor and offer to cancel those appointments for them, right? Yeah. Oh, I know Susie Q at ABC Realty. We work together all the time. I'll be glad to call her and let her know she has a night at home with her family. She'll be very grateful. I'll take care of that. Okay?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, but they don't have to know that, right? Because one sometimes sellers feel a real moral obligation to keep an appointment, and they'll tell you that, well, you know, we're not people to break our commitments, and we said we'd meet with Susie. Okay, you know what? I know Susie, good friend of mine. We worked in the same market for years. Let me call her for you. Okay, you know, could she say anything tonight that I haven't said? Could she do anything that I'm not willing to do? Then let's not waste her time or yours. Okay, let me take care of that for you. Okay. That's why you ask the appointment. That's why you ask the question. Now, look at the next page. I don't have another page on the screen, but I inserted another page in your manual to deal with a couple really important issues. First of all, how do you find expired and withdrawn listings on the MLS? Do you know how to do that? Okay. Let me see real quick if I have an internet connection, because I want to show you how this works. Here we go. And Fusion, because we're all Fusion users, I know that.
Not the oldies.
All right. Now, if I get bogged down, this is it right here. Sometimes my computer does not like loading the search page, but let's see. Oh, we're going to get lucky. Okay, so in setting up your saved search, excuse me, you're going to have to add a couple fields. These are not going to be default fields. So it is slowing down on me. So you all are familiar with this page, right? So you're going to select, you know, single family. Then when the status comes up, the default is what? What's the default status field? Active, pending, and option show. You know, option, pending, and option show. Okay, there we go. Active, option, pending, pending show. Okay, so we're going to change that. We're going to deselect those three and come down here to withdrawn, expired, and there is a field for terminated. I did not know that. Okay? Now, if we want to put in a list price, and I would recommend that you do that, some base price that you're not going to go below, I'm just going to use 100 for illustration purposes. If you have a very defined area, that you're only willing to take listings in that area, then you can put it in here, whether it's a subdivision or zip codes or city. I'm going to encourage you to take a broader approach and use the map feature to identify your target area. Okay? But if you'll scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see there's an option to add fields, and that's where, let's put in expire or expiration. There we go, expiration date. And I'll just do this for this one, but you'll do this also for terminated and withdrawn. So we're going to add that field. And now, where did it go? Where did it move it? If you see it on my screen, did you? Let me scroll and see. Go to the bottom. There it is. It was all the way at the bottom. Okay, so now you have to put in a date, but I want you can't read it. Let me point it out to you. You put in a date, and then it says in soft gray print, or after. And so it's going to give you the results from that date and everything forward. Okay? So remember when I said I did a search from March 1st? It gave me everything from March 1st till today. So you can go back a year, 2 years, whatever. Okay? And then it will just update you on your search on the new expireds. But initially you'll get the search results for everybody. Okay? So you'll do that, you'll put in a date, you know, and I'm not going to walk you through that because I think you get it, right? Okay, so that's what you have to do is add those fields for expired, withdrawn, and terminated.
But why would it go that far back when they might have already relisted and maybe sold and moved on?
Yeah, because a lot of them haven't. Yes. Now, it's a good point you raise. If you're calling ones that are a year or two old, you might just want to do a quick check of the address and see if they still own the property or if it is currently listed. Okay, that's probably an abundance of caution to do that. But it's a waste of time. It's also takes a lot of time to verify all that data. Okay, that's a judgment call that you can make. Okay. Now, and by the way, I'll share with you a way of ensuring that they're not currently active, but we'll get there in a moment, okay? Now, once you have the list and of all the results, you'll have access to the owner's name, because initially you're just going to have the property address and information, right? How would you find the owner's name? That's right, you pull up the tax data. Now, and again, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here. I have noticed this week that when I pull up a listing, expired listing, and normally you would click that tax account information at the top of the listing, it's a live link and it opens Stewart title, that was not working for me this week. Okay? It's been deactivated. And so what you have to do when you pull search results, and I am going to pull some real quick just to illustrate this for you because this is kind of important. Let me see if I can do a real narrow range and just get a small results list. 319. Because I don't have my dates are wide open, so it's showing me every expired, withdrawn, terminated in history. So okay, let me pull these up. These are all going to be old. All right, let's pull up this first one. And here, the tax account link appears to be live. Okay, we got lucky. If that's the case, it's going to be real simple for you. But if you get a dead link and they are in the process of transitioning, what you have to do is come over here to the button, the number of the property, just hover, and then this menu opens up, and then you have additional information here, additional documents, attachments. You come all the way over here to these columns, and the first one is realist tax. Realist is what we're going through. I'm hoping that it will replace the live link for Stewart. But if you need the data here, you can pull it, and that's where you will find the owner information. So if you're trying to verify, do they still own the property? That's where you can do it. So it's Charles and Carolyn Neal in LaPorte, Texas. Now, do I have a phone number? This is a call strategy, right? Where do I get the phone number? And in your manual on earlier pages, it suggests a couple sites. It mentions anywho.com and 411.com. Those are possible sources, and I have found them to provide a phone number about 2% of the time. Okay? I've also given you a couple on this page. People.com, PIPL.com, and peoplesmart.com. My recommendation is that if you're going to commit to this as a source, and you want to pull your own list of expireds from HAR, that you do a service like PeopleSmart where you pay $19.95 a month and you get unlimited phone number searches, and they will have numbers 70 to 80% of the time. That's what they say. That is the most inexpensive way. Otherwise, if you search per number, per owner, it's about $1 a number. Okay, so if you're going to be calling 200 a month, do a $19.95. Okay. Now here's the other option to build your call list. This is option 2. And this is where you sign up with a paid service to provide you a list. The beauty of that is you get the owner name. You're not having to do all this research, right? And they'll provide you with a daily fresh list of expireds, or you can go back if you want to, just like in HAR, and pull up an older list. But they give you the property information and the owner name. Right there, there's a savings of time. Then you can pay them extra to get the phone numbers. In my experience, That's an expensive way to do it. They charge about $1 a number under those services, okay? So, one way to do it, probably the most efficient way to do it, and you would only do this if you're really committing to expireds as a source, is to sign up for LandVoice or the RedX to get the name and property information, then sign up with PeopleSmart to get the phone number information. That kind of combines in my view, the best of the efficiency of getting the list and the economy of getting the phone numbers. But that's going to cost you about $70 a month to do that, okay? Full disclosure. Now, you might say, well, Frank, I don't know if I can do this, okay? I think I can, right? But I've tried other things. I tried out for the swim team. You know, day 2, I couldn't even walk and gave it up, right? So I don't want to commit financially to something that I can't persevere in. So I have good news for you. Now, those of you who are already in, you're like, I'm gonna be like that expired queen, and I'm gonna take the throne, and I'm gonna make myself 200 grand this year in expireds. Then you get started. Get started today. Sign up, start calling, okay? You can do it, absolutely. If you're like, well, I want to check this out a little bit, I have a personal membership to LandVoice because I thought expireds were going to be part of my personal business plan. I've had it for 8 months and I've never made a single call, okay? But I have access to the list. I'm going to bring that list to class next week, a long list. And I also plunked down $140 last week to get 140 phone numbers, okay? So I'm going to bring that to class next week. And rather than teach you something new, we're going to do a clinic. And we're going to call, okay, using these scripts and dialogues. Now, if you get started today, how much of a head start is that going to be? And you can share your experiences when we start next week. I'm going to make a few calls myself this week just so I have the benefit of experience to share with you about how it went. But my goal is going to be that over the course of an hour, hour and a half in our clinic, that we set several listing conversation appointments, okay? And I'll make some, and then we'll hand the phone around, okay? I'm going to take these script and dialogue pages, and I'm going to blow them up, and we're going to put them on the wall, okay? Clear this out so we can stand and make our calls and have everything right in front of us. But go ahead and study the scripts, internalize them, and then it'll just be really easy, okay, to follow and understand. Now, as I describe that, how many of you all are excited about it? And how many of you are terrified about it? Okay? All right. Use that emotion to fuel a commitment, okay? I think if we do this together, we practice it together, I think the takeaway is going to be, I can do that. It's not as scary as it sounds, okay? Yep, that one was rude, but you know what? I'm still in one piece. I'm ready to make another call, okay? And I'm hoping that becomes a launch pad for many of you all to explore the source, because frankly, it's been abandoned by most real estate agents. And I think there's great, great opportunity. All right, any questions, comment, feedback? Yes, ma'am.
Are the phone numbers that they give, they're also cell phone numbers?
Yes.
People that don't have
Yes.
landlines?
Yeah, they are mostly cell phone numbers. And I'm going to tell you, they're mostly do not call numbers. Okay? So you have a judgment call to make. Any source of phone numbers today is going to be primarily cell phone numbers. Yes, ma'am.
Did you say that no realtors have been found guilty of doing that?
Ever been sued?
Ever been sued?
Ever.
Because it's like $11,000.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm not saying you won't be the first,
Yeah.
okay?
If it's going to be anybody, it'll be me.
It could happen. It could happen. I'm saying make your own judgment call, okay?
If they say, do you realize that I'm on a do not call list, and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, I got your number.
Yeah. From a third-party source, I'll take you off my list. Great. Move on.
Well, we must be wrong.
Yes. All right, so it's 20 till 12. I want to invite all of you who are interested to rejoin us in this room at 12 for Rookie Agent ICU. I have some very interesting things I'm going to share, and then the majority of that time will just be open-ended for you to share frustrations, challenges, ask questions, and we'll get you the help you need. All right, thank you.